everyone. I'm Julia.
Hi. I'm Mary Beth.
And I'm Katie.
And this is us on NBC.
Tuesday nights. I don't know what night.
Is it still on?
It is Tuesday nights. Yes, it is.
Oh, is it really?
Oh.
Yeah.
I heard a real spoiler for that. Well, I kind of stopped watching like during season 2, maybe. Not because I didn't like it, just because that's how I watch shows, is I just stop watching them.
Uh-huh.
But then I did hear a spoiler on how he dies.
Oh, they have told us that. That did happen in season 2, I think.
Yeah, but it was a spoiler for me. Oh, it was in season 2?
Yeah, you almost got there.
Oh my God,
She just did one more episode. She would have known.
I take real offense to it that I found out.
Well, give it another go.
I don't mind spoilers, I will just say.
I hate them.
Really?
I will ruin anybody that spoils anything for me.
I mean, I would never want someone to spoil it for me, but sometimes I do seek them out.
Weird.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I'm torn because part of me like really hates them and thinks that I never want to know. Then part of me is like, I think it creates like an interesting aspect.
For me, sometimes I'm like, I want to see how they get there, like.
Yeah. Yes,
I
exactly.
do.
Like sometimes
I
a
do
spoil will
understand
make
that.
me want to watch a show.
I see.
Are there any shows you have examples of this? Good Place? That's what happened to James.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was
No,
it
I
a
think I
spoiler or
watched
did
that
he just
before.
like watch an episode?
He
Sometimes I'll
absolutely
do that.
watched the final episode of the first season.
Oh, so then you had to like start over. Yeah. I will, like, I get that if I like watch it casually and then I'm like, all right, I have to watch this show. But
Yeah.
if it's something that I've started from the beginning and I'm very invested and someone spoils it for me, I will end you.
You know
Yeah,
what's so surprising to me? Oh yeah, go.
No. I didn't have anything.
What's surprising
Okay, but
to you,
still
Julia?
go. What?
Tell me what's surprising to you. But Katie, go. But Katie,
All
go.
right, Katie, go.
I'll tell you what's surprising to Julia.
Okay.
M&M's.
They are always, because it's a different flavor as you find out. Well, each color.
Yeah,
is
they're
a
all different colors, different flavors.
Surprising.
That is surprising to me.
I could go off about M&Ms, about pros and cons. Anyway, what's surprising to me is that there are shows that I've watched so late and still like somehow I'm like, how did I not know that this was going to happen? Or movies or whatever. We just watched A Quiet Place and that's what happened. I was like, how did I not know? That's fine. But this is a podcast called She's Good, and we try and
We'll
talk
just
about
get around to
sports.
that.
We try and talk about women's sports. No, and
we
are
try.
successful.
We try, but it sometimes takes us a while to get there.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes we need to talk about movies first. Here we are. How's your guys' sports been since we last talked?
My sports has been good. I've been watching a variety of them. So
Yeah.
there's
We
new
have
ones popping up left and right.
Brand new ones. Yeah.
Really invented.
Yeah. Sports we've never even heard of before. Called softball.
Softball.
Softball?
Softball.
Softball. Huh?
Softball.
Softball's so weird, just the name.
Because the ball's not
is
soft.
so hard.
Ball's not soft. You get hit
It's a
with
hard
bats,
ball and
it
it's
feels
large
hard.
and it hurts you when you get popped
Exactly.
with it.
It do.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a new softball league that just started up, the Athletes Unlimited League, which is wild because it's a whole different formula. So it's like if you mix professional softball with like a game at recess, like where you choose teams, mixed with like a fantasy league. It's real.
That's
wild.
a perfect way of explaining it.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Well, can't wait to explain it to you.
Because don't they have volleyball too? Or
They're
won't
starting
they have
volleyball next year, I think.
Okay.
So volleyball, they don't have the league yet, but I imagine it'll be a similar situation.
Wait, okay. So this is my question. Athletes Unlimited is a league itself, and then inside of Athletes Unlimited, it will do different sports?
I think that I don't know. I haven't researched it enough because it literally just popped up. I think Athletes Unlimited is like, I don't know, is it a company or what it is? But they like are going to have all of these different leagues, I guess. But they're like doing sports differently than usual.
Yeah, so this would be instead. So this is okay. We're going to get into how it works.
Yeah.
From what we've discovered, but my question also is: this is in lieu of a regular softball season. What is that? What is their league called?
Is it just National Pro Fast Pitch? I don't know. They're not playing right now, but the players, I think some of these players in this league also play for that league and also are on like various national teams. Okay. So should I explain how it works?
I think let's go for it. Yeah.
Okay. So there's 56 players in this league, but there's no set team. So every week, what they do, so they start out. I'll just start from what's happened so far because that'll be the the easiest way to do it. So they did like scrimmages earlier in the week, and they ranked people based on a point system, which we'll dive into. And then the top 4 highest point getters, individual players, were the captains of the team. So they picked
so when I kept seeing like Team Warren, that's
Team
one
Fagan.
of the
that's one of so that's the Team Warren is the orange team. So Jessie Warren was one of the top 4. So she was a captain and she picked the teams. So this league doesn't have any coaches or general managers or anything. The players do it all. Each team has like a consultant. I can't remember what they call the consultant that can like help them. So if the captain is a pitcher and they don't want to like deal with it while they're pitching, they want to stay focused, that person can be in charge. To my understanding, this is all fully what I've gathered from like the past 2 days of this league happening.
Yeah.
But so they pick their teams and then every week they play, it seems like 6 games they play over like the weekend, and then they start all over again the next week. So the next week the teams are different. They take the top 4 highest point getters again and they pick different teams and then they play again. So to my understanding,
do they use like this past weekend's points to determine next? Okay, so they're not having another round of scrimmages.
Right. So I think the points just continue to accrue or go down based on the results of the game, which again I'll get into in a second. But so then I believe at the end, like the championship wouldn't be like a team, it would be individuals and like who came in first, who came in.
Yes.
Like, that's how it, right? Is that what you think you've gotten from it?
Fully individual. But that was going to be my question. So it's different captains every week, unless they're still
in the top 4,
right?
Yeah,
that's kind of crazy.
It's like new. It's based on results. So the way the points work, you can get points. You mostly get them. So you can get them as a team or you can get them individually. So as a team, you get them if your team wins the inning. So if you get more points than the other team in the inning, you get 10 points. Everyone on the team gets 10 points. But if the inning is tied, if you tie with the other team, then those points roll over to the next inning. So say nobody wins the points in the first inning, but someone wins the points in the second inning, they get 20 points, everyone on the team.
This is cool.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
So as you're watching it, are they telling you people's individual points too?
I don't think so. They usually like will mention like who every once in a while, like where they are in the rankings.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I don't know if there's like I wish there was like a live feed. I don't know if there is of points.
That would have been cool.
Imagine being 56.
Oh, well, 56, the bottom 3 are pitchers, and let me explain why. So you can also, the other way to get points as a team is winning the game. So you get 50 points if your team wins the game. Everyone on the team gets 50 points. And then there's an MVP vote. So if you played really well in your game, but your team didn't win, you can still get a lot of points that way. Everyone at the end of the game votes for an MVP. And the person that's the top gets the most votes gets 60 points. The person that gets the second most votes gets 40 points, and the third gets 20 points.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, but so that's where like it starts to get strategic. Is the announcers were wondering, will the players start to be like tricky about it, where they're like, I know this person is right below me in the rankings, and then not vote for them as MVP so that they don't jump ahead of them. So that will be interesting to watch, I think. And then the other ways you get points are individually. So it's usually offensively unless you're the pitcher. So if you get a single, it's 10, double 20, triple 30, home run 40. But if you get caught stealing a base, then you lose 10. So you can lose points as well. And then pitchers get 4 points for every out they pitch. So essentially, if they pitch a full inning, they get 12 points. But where pitchers run into trouble is if they give up an earned run, they lose 10 points. So say someone comes in for an inning and they pitch very poorly. They only get like 2 outs. Then they get 8 points for their 2 outs. But there were some innings, as we saw, where they gave up like 10 runs. So they lost 100 points.
Oh.
So they're at like negative 92.
Oh my God. And they don't have.
And then their team probably lost, and they're not going to get an MVP vote. So the 3 pitchers are like down there from those big games. Yeah.
Yikes.
There was one.
Yeah. And they also don't like, if they're just coming in for an inning, they're probably not batting necessarily. So they can't really.
Get those offensive points. But so there was one that I wonder, I can't remember what her name was. She was pitching for the blue team, and she had like a very bad inning.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I don't know how to say. Maybe her name's like, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's maybe like Hovinga or something. It's Hovinga, I think. But they looked like they were going to take her out, and then they didn't take her out, and then the announcers were wondering, like, is she just taking one for the team so nobody else comes in and loses all the points? It's just her losing the points, which is interesting. I don't think they would do that early, though.
That's so funny. Oh, it's okay. She's
because there were some really like
Hovinga. It seems like a Dutch name. But
there
anyway,
were some really high point games, like 'cause I wasn't watching them, but I was like seeing tweets about like 18 to 4 or something.
Was one, and then there was, I think earlier was 10-2.
Yes,
it's been very fascinating to watch though.
I saw I saw most of the 10-2 game. Blue versus orange
earlier today. Orange,
oh no, it was yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So maybe it was something else. But anyway, I feel like it's been a while since I've seen softball played, and it's really wild how close these bases are together.
Yeah, they're not as far apart I think they're 60 instead of 90. Is that correct?
So yeah, it's a smaller like diamond. The pitcher is a lot closer.
Yeah.
And therefore the bases are closer.
It's been a while. I haven't played since like 8th grade. I only played fast pitch for 1 season, so I don't recall the exact measurements or anything. But I am I'm so fascinated by this point system. And all of the athletes that have like spoken up about it seem to like it. So
cool. I mean, you gotta hope. I from what it sounded like, they were all sort of on board with like, let's not cheat the system. Let's just like be honest about it, because that's gonna make it like the most fun. But I think it really is set up to where, if you are a defensive player and play in the infield and outfield, there's a lot fewer chances for you to like gain points or whatever, which is why they set up this MVP thing.
Right.
But yeah, it's very interesting.
Right. And I guess it depends on, it depends on what team you get recruited to, and if your team is good that week also. Because someone that's on a team that's not winning this week and not winning any innings or anything could be on a really good team next week, just based on how things fall, and then they can balance it out. But I will be interested to see if there's any like mind game aspect that starts to get worked into it or not. I guess it depends. I don't really know like what the rewards are, if it's like bonuses or what.
I think it is. There's like
like cash
10
bonuses?
grand. Yeah. There's like 10 grand on the line and something.
Is this going to be like full Survivor softball? And
those were my exact thoughts. Totally. But here's the thing. In Survivor, you have a jury at the end who votes for you. So, and they don't have this. So if anyone's being like,
There is one thing that I saw is like if you pay for like this membership, like if you're a fan, you're like a viewer and you pay for like this membership, then you get to vote for an MVP as well.
Oh, interesting.
So maybe that helps balance out anyone being sneaky.
Yeah, I almost feel like they should have like a council that votes on like the MVP of
or
it
maybe
all.
they like, or they decide as a team or something and everyone just votes with the team. I don't know. I know they can vote for themselves though.
Alliances. I would love if this was tied to a Survivor-esque show.
Yeah,
that we also
and we got to like see their thought process.
Yeah, yeah.
And think about it, Athletes Unlimited, because people will tune in.
Oh my God.
I would love
there should
a confessional.
Yes.
Wild.
It really is like it feels like an exciting thing to watch, not knowing any damn person, so.
Well, that's how I've been with every single sport we've watched so far.
And then you learn them, and then you get acquainted.
You do learn them. I am starting to learn them. I do know exactly how old Cat Osterman is, because that man wouldn't stop.
36 years old.
37.
Wait, 37. Oh, her birthday was in between the time that
between yesterday and today.
Yeah.
Her birthday was at 10 a.m. today.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But I just wanted to be like, sir, that's not that old. Like,
but people do that. Like, people did that. Like during the World Cup, that was like all they ever said about Carly Lloyd. Like, it's all they ever say about Sue Bird now. Like,
they can handle it.
They have their talking points too. I mean, part of it is age, which I do want to get into because it's just so odd. But I feel like announcers have these like talking points for these players, and they're just like, well, and if you're just tuning in, Maria went to UVA, and it's like
in 1992 because she's 43.
I've not heard one person named Maria.
Me neither. I feel like also, like, if you're going to talk about somebody's age in a sport and they're old or older than everybody else in the league, I feel like don't talk about it as like it takes her a while to get started because she's in her late 30s. Be like, she is playing a professional sport in her late 30s. Like,
is that how he was framing it?
I don't know if he was, but like I've seen it throughout. Like,
I got to work out those crinks and those wrinkles.
I like bend down and my knees blow out. Like, I can't imagine.
But they did. But I mean, what if they themselves are saying it? Then that's fine, because I do remember super, or maybe it was Diana Taurasi. I don't know. I put it in the chat somewhere, but that it takes them like 3 hours.
It was Diana. Yeah.
Is Diana? Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, talk about yourself that way, but everyone else, like, relax about
and I think like if it's it's something that is definitely worth mentioning, because it is impressive that you're 38 and you're still like playing at such a high level, but it doesn't need to be the only thing that anyone ever says about you.
Like, mention it once and then move on for the entire season. We get
it. Yeah.
So
but I think until we take the stigma off of like old age, I think like it's going to be a thing. I think like I've just been thinking about this lately about like, why is it not a positive thing to get older?
Right.
It's so weird.
Like, I mean, look how long I've lived. I've made
I'm
it.
Still alive.
And
I'm still kicking.
I don't know how I did it. Right. I don't know. What made me think of this is like how we always are like, if there's like an old lady crossing the street, it's like, or like referring to some old lady being like, well, how about this young lady here? And it's like an irony and like a joke.
Right. Like, okay, we all know how old I am.
Yeah.
Like,
fuck you.
Doing fine.
Well, to me, it's like when people say that, it's like, to me, I would take that as like, okay, the first thing you think of when you see me is that I'm old.
I'm old.
Yeah. And so you have to like make this like weird joke about how
clear the air.
Right.
We all know how old you are, but I'm not going to talk about it because I'm going to say that you're young.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, though, a lot of time, like, I get, like, older for a sport, but, like, they're not old, is the thing. Like, if you've got, like, a 72-year-old, like, card-carrying AARP member in this Athletes Unlimited League, let's talk about it nonstop. But, like, she's 37.
She's 37. Yes. Yes. It's fully impressive is what it is. Because at age 29, I feel like I get injured every step I take.
I can agree.
I've got one foot in the grave, literally.
And once it got there, it sprained. And stuck in it now.
Speaking of sprains, Julia, how's your little ankle?
Oh my God. Thank you so much for asking. It's good. I can walk on it. It's bruised. You know how they go green and they turn green and purple. So it's in that phase and it's still like gets sore, but I think that's normal. And I've been doing my exercises every single day.
Good.
Yeah. So
doing those stretches.
Yep.
Making her strong again.
Yep. Doing the alphabet with my
ankle.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for asking.
I'm just glad that you're on the mend. You're
getting to recover.
Thank you. And I'm going to take it real easy. And I'm going to make sure that I get 100% before I get back on the field.
Totally. Because you don't want to pull a super and play a game and then have to sit.
No.
And then
the next bunch of games.
People talk shit about you.
And then have somebody talk shit.
Speaking of, let's get into it.
Why don't you give that a little chat?
Did we talk about this last time?
I don't know. I think it happened.
No, it happened
last time.
More recently.
And
if we did, Julia will cut it out later.
Edit it out later, baby. So what happened was Sue Bird finally came back, and I think she played a game, and then she was out the next game, and that was against the Indiana Fever, and that the Fever beat the Storm. And afterwards, in like their press conference afterwards, one of the players mentioned that they were like surprised that Sue Bird would sit out, and they thought that she thought it was going to be an easy win for Seattle, so they rested her or something. And then the coach, Marianne Stanley, the coach of the Fever, was like, everybody underestimated us, but we didn't underestimate us. And she got very worked up about it, and people. It was just funny. I thought it was funny.
And then Sue's like, bitch, my knee is bruised.
And then Sue was out the next game as well because she's actually injured. And Holly Rowe, was it Holly Rowe?
I think so.
Holly Rowe was asking her, did you see the comments? What do you think about that? And Sue was like, yeah, I thought it was funny. I guess they didn't think about the fact that they're going to see me in the lunch line.
And then we're in a wobble.
Yeah, we're in a wobble together. We can't leave.
Yeah, we cannot leave. And then Sue Bird said something like, I don't make decisions about my injury or whether I'm not going to play based on any other team, especially Indiana.
There's the dig they were looking for.
Exactly.
Right, she gave it right to him.
Yeah. Which obviously she said that on purpose because she's
get out of here. Yeah.
Fuck you. Yeah. Truly, I don't make a decision about whether or not I'm going to play on my injured knee on you,
Yeah.
Totally. And
then she sat out against Las Vegas, who is the number 2 team.
Yeah.
So
for everyone that doesn't know, Seattle's in first place. They're the number 1 team. And Indiana, where is Indiana ranked? They're lower, right?
I want to say they're the 8th or 7th.
Are they not in playoff contention?
No, the top 8 are in playoff contention. So they're definitely there. I can probably look up the standings right now.
But so they're not high in the rankings, which is why they thought Indiana was assuming that they could beat them easily.
Seattle, yeah. The whole thing was scrappy little Indiana was like, oh, Sue Bird sitting out this game after she came back from her injury. Yeah, it's probably because they think that they can just beat us, no problem. Mm-hmm. And Sue Bird was like you guys said, no, no, I'm actually injured and I came back too soon.
Yeah.
But also, I'm
Yes.
not going to make my decision
Also, yes.
to come back based on any team. It's on me, and especially not on you. So it did come full
and I
circle
think
in
she
Indiana's.
and I like how she was like, especially not Indiana, because like I don't care about you.
See, and when I first read that, I was like, oh, especially not Indiana, because why? But then how else could you take it besides?
Do that little dig,
especially not Indiana.
Don't care
like almost
don't
like she's
care
saying, like, if I were going to make a decision about playing on my injured knee, I would have played against Las Vegas, not you, Indiana.
Which is exactly what they wanted, but they like proved the point. Oh my god, it was just
it's just that kind of drama that I love.
It's that drama that I want, but then
and
be
she
nice
said
to each
that
other.
then be nice to each other. Yeah.
She said that while wearing like the Diana Taurasi like goat t-shirt,
which
so
I
it was
want.
just like, which I want too.
You can probably get them.
Okay.
No, you can't. I've looked.
Oh dang! You can probably like find one on Redbubble or something illegally.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
You're right.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the like sleeve stuff.
Oh yeah. Speaking of though, in their little interviews, I mean, I don't know if they're still like airing these, but in the WNBA League Pass, which update I did get. Oh,
you did?
did
Okay,
get
you did.
Yeah.
And
I don't
update, they
have that.
finally have some new content on the commercial breaks in League Pass.
Yeah, so maybe they're not airing this anymore, but they were airing this interview between Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi. The League Pass is a little bit of a mess, but they were airing it so much that like every time their faces would show up, James would pop in and be like, "What sound does a goat make?" And then he would just like do each person every line for line. I'm like, I don't even know this. And he was just like saying every single thing they were saying because we had heard it all.
Basically, it's just this like little clip of like Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi talking about, I don't know, their favorite shoes and like whether or not the WNBA logo looks like Diana Taurasi. Yeah. And just like, you know, the first time it was really charming. The second time it was like, oh, cool. And the 86th time you're like, I don't fucking care.
Skip.
I told him
Fast forward.
Yeah. I told him though, I'm like, for some reason I'm not like getting annoyed with their voices or anything. I could listen to this, which is weird.
Wait a couple weeks.
Oh,
Wait a couple weeks because
yeah, that shows you that I'm not watching enough.
you gotta be watching every damn game.
Yeah, I try to watch as many games not on League Pass as possible because they have no editing capabilities on these commercials. And it's just like, what is this?
What are you doing?
Fortunately, if you like go on League Pass and like watch a game from the previous day, it cuts out all that. So you're just watching the game.
Oh, there's no commercial.
Which is so nice. Yeah.
That is good. That's probably why they're like, we don't really want people watching these live anyway. We want you going back. So.
Come back. Take your time with it. Browse.
Baby, come back.
I honestly would like to work for League Pass and like help them create content to put in between the game.
You should. I'll edit all of this out. Well,
get your resume going. We'll get you ready.
Not content of me. No, but I'm sure they have. I know they have so much content that they could be putting there. They recently, the last couple games I watched this past weekend, they had some stuff about like the Mystics last season when they won championship. So I know like there's content there. Yeah. I mean, they could literally be posting people's like Instagram videos from inside the Wubble and I'd be like, this is gold.
This is what I want. So, this is what I've wanted the whole time.
Kitty,
this is the sport I enjoy.
Yeah. Show us the players.
Well, honestly, I think it's a really good marketing strategy because like people, of course, they love to watch the sport, but once they're invested in the players and they love the players for the people they are, they're even more invested. So
it's
like
true.
Which is why I think this softball thing is so cool.
That is really cool. Yeah.
Because people can like really root for
like
who they want to.
One person. Yeah.
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 Fascinating. I have a very important question for you guys regarding League Pass.
Yeah.
Have either of you tapped?
I did. I tapped once.
Yeah.
You just tapped the one time. So everybody that doesn't know what this is right now, since they're in the bubble, they don't have fans. They like have a tap to cheer thing, and like whatever team gets the most taps throughout the game, like I guess wins the cheering competition. I don't know. But they always talk about it, and it's so funny to me. I don't know why.
So when I tapped, it was like one of the earlier games. It was like LA versus the Storm, and they have like one team on half of the screen and one team on the other half, and I was literally just going like hitting both sides,
opportunity
like,
tapping.
equal, because I want everyone to feel cheered for.
I do too, Katie.
Like, I know.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed.
Just canceling out your
I think I gave one tap to Seattle when they were playing, like, I don't know, Dallas or something, and I was like, oh, whatever.
I like that you just do one tap, because to me, like tapping is like
You're
the same as
supposed to,
clapping. So
It's
you
like
should
one clap. Yeah, so you should be like tap, 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 instead of just tap.
Hey, good job, Seattle.
Totally. I mean, at one point I became clear of it that like, oh, they want to get up to like the announcers were saying we got up to 1 million taps in this game, which is, we thought, we were aiming for 10,000 or I don't know, whatever they were aiming for, but up to 1 million, which was like cool. And I was like, oh, I think you're supposed to do multiple.
Oh, I just did one.
There's 1 million viewers and they all tapped one time. One tap per person.
Oh my gosh. It's just
Yeah,
such a dumb thing, though. It's such a dumb
Oh
thing.
my God, it's so funny.
Tap, 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 tap.
Oh man.
But yeah, I tapped once and then I was like, ugh, never again.
If I had League Pass, I would be tapping all the time and just cracking up about it. So
Well, you can't
next
tap
time.
if you're watching in the app at the same time.
Oh, well, luckily I got Parents Cable.
So yeah.
Parents cable.
Parents Cable, which they recently switched, but I still have the sports channel. So okay. I was worried
CBS
for a
Sports
second.
Network
Get
can suck
your
it.
act together. I mean, again, we shouldn't be complaining that like they're airing this
But
stuff.
also,
get your
I
shit
find it
together.
odd that I purchased CBS All Access.
Exactly.
Why isn't that not included in
It
there?
is. It's
I know.
all access is in the name.
Yeah, and CBS is in the sports network.
Yeah.
It's like when
name.
I look, I have a New York Times subscription, and I can't access various recipes, New York Times recipes, and I
Is it
have
like
access
premium?
to cooking. I don't know.
That's
Weird. I don't know if that
probably
exists,
bullshit.
but that's silly.
That's bullshit.
It's like this. If it's all access, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Why am I not having access?
And even,
agree.
okay, it really takes, it's like, it's easier to find stuff on a laptop for some reason. So when I was trying to find the UEFA games, like they weren't showing up on my computer. I mean,
Which is
on
so
my
strange.
Apple TV.
You have to search it. I was looking for it the other day, and I had to search
searched in
specifically. So I searched it, and it only came up. Only the men's games came up. You had to specifically search women's. Also,
Believe me, typed in everything.
you tried.
I don't know. I think, it's just the search thing was stupid. But kind of like we were talking about, once you look for it on your laptop and you find it, then it comes up and you're like recently whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, they're like, oh, they want to watch this, and then it's right there.
Such a pain, though.
Nothing makes me more angry than when technology doesn't work. Speaking of the Champions League, the Women's Champions League.
And CBS All Access.
On CBS All Access. It happened. The tournament happened. It's
Yes.
over.
It did happen.
It ended.
It's over.
Champions, the final was today, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't watch
Lyon and Wolfsburg.
Wolfsburg,
I'm
yeah.
saying it the German way.
it.
I like that.
Wolfsburg.
Wolfsburg.
Sounds like you're from there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Guten Tag.
Yeah.
Wait, and so
So what was
who
cool
did
for
you
me
want to
watching
win?
it,
Yeah.
I had nothing in the game. I
Preference.
mean, I think I wanted Wolfsburg because they had like bright green and Lyon has won the last like 5.
Yeah, that's why I
Exactly.
wanted Wolfsburg, because they're the underdog.
Yep.
Yeah, so always rooting for the underdog, but like at the
Which
end of
is
the day, it wasn't
interesting.
like
Sorry to talk over you. I think it's interesting when people from the United States are like, I'm rooting for the underdog, but then like get to the Olympics and it's like, America!
Yeah.
Win!
Well, I think it's like when I have no like connection, like regional connection, no like.
No one's told you who to root for. You're just like, I want everyone to win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's how I am.
But it was cool to like recognize names on both sides from like the international like soccer world.
Yeah.
Like who?
Yeah.
Who's on these teams?
Well, Wolfsburg. Alexandra Popp. She's like, I think she's a German player, but I don't know if I remember her from like 2015 World Cup. And then like from this most recent World Cup, Lucy Bronze from England, and like several French players on Lyon, Amadine Henry, Nikita Paris, Wendy Renard, Eugenie, I don't know how to say her name, Eugenie Le Sommier or something like that. I don't know.
Euphigenia Doubtfire.
Euphigenia Doubtfire. Yeah, her for sure.
She's real good.
Oh my god, even Janaya did have a great game.
Did you know? They told me about it.
Mary Beth, stop talking. Stop talking about her age.
I didn't want to.
I don't want to bring up her age.
How dare you?
But
oh, sis. The only reason I know these quotes is because Nicole will say them. I haven't seen this movie once in my life from as a youngster.
Oh man, my favorite is when she throws a piece of fruit at Pierce Brosnan, and then he looks and she goes, "It was a run-by fruiting."
Oh my gosh.
Carpe dentum, seize the teeth.
Seize the teeth.
Oh,
love it. Love that film.
Classic.
But anyway, yeah, Eugenie.
Eugenie.
I
don't know. It's like Eugene, but like a girl.
Le Sommelier.
Le Sommelier. Yeah, something weird like that. Something French. Whatever. French is weird. Ellie Carpenter plays for them now. I don't know if she's actually played a game for them, but she's on their team now. She's Australian.
Okay,
she used to play for Portland Thorns. There's one. Oh, and then Jodie Taylor. She plays for the Reign. She was loaned to them, so she actually appeared in the final.
That's what I was going to ask for these players who, very recently got on these teams. Did they play in this tournament?
They did. I saw someone, I don't remember what team it was, but someone that plays for the Pride that got loaned to one of these teams popped up as well earlier in the tournament.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I also want to understand, like, the
soccer?
UEFA Champions League, like, because they all play in their own leagues, like the WSL in England or the German one whose name I'm like blanking on right now, Bundesliga or something. So like, who gets into the championship league to like play for the UEFA championship? Right. How do they determine that?
Is it just like
and why?
I'm making this up, but is it just like a continental World Cup? So it's not like a World Cup. It's just
it's like a club. Yeah, it's like a European club like championship, but like.
So maybe there's like a tournament to get into it, like there is one to get into the Olympics. I don't. But then
I'm kind of like, is like, how did like Glasgow City get in? And they have a team where like some of those players work other jobs because it's not like, like they have two jobs. I don't know. So like, and they were like really, really outplayed by Wolfsburg in their game. Geez, they lost like 8-1 in the first round.
That would make sense how that it's a tournament instead of like rankings.
Yes, yeah. But like, how do they determine who gets into the tournament?
Maybe it's one.
That's what I want to know, and I've tried to figure it out.
I don't know. Maybe it's the top player in each league goes into it. I don't know.
And PSG are in the same.
Yeah.
We need to find some listeners, and they need to.
Yeah, I would like someone
to tell me. I will ask Ben. I promise you, I will ask Ben, and I will.
Because I have looked it up and I've like read a bunch of Wikipedia pages and I cannot for the life of me figure it out. I can tell you how much each of the teams are earning for winning at whatever stage or losing at whatever.
I
wrote it down.
Wait, I kind of want to know this.
I feel like you opened Wikipedia.
Yeah, I did get it from Wikipedia, to be fair.
Let me open my Wikipedia.
You guys kind of feel like these are my ears?
Yes.
Oh my God, it kind of does look like ears.
Lopsided.
Oh, here, I'll turn my head a little bit.
I wish I had ears that stuck out a little bit more.
I know. Yeah.
I had real big ears when I was a little kid. Now
I
they
always
might
thought
be
that was so
proportional.
cute on kids. Like at peers my age when I was a kid.
You were attracted to
sticky out ears.
Yeah, because I had short hair. I had a full bowl cut and just ears that were adult ears, but child head. Like my ears were the same size as they are now.
That's
but
so
you know how like old men when their ears keep growing?
Sorry, I dropped something.
Why?
You know, like old men, they have giant ears.
Why are they?
Yeah, because don't your ears never stop growing?
Yeah, they keep going. And so I think that's true. They just keep going.
like learn.
That's why old men have such big ears.
I need to learn about bodies.
That's so funny.
I have no idea if that's true, but I have heard that before. It's ears and something else.
Nose.
Dicks. Ding dongs.
Men wish it was dicks.
Actually, they shrink with age.
Backwards.
Anyway, geez, cut this out, Julia. Just kidding.
Leave it. The world needs to know I had big ears when I was little.
Right. Wait, where do we get here? I'll call Ben. Tell us how much they make per game. Win.
The winner of the championship league, so Lyon, gets 250,000 euros?
Yeah.
Pounds?
Okay.
Euros. The second place gets 200,000 euros?
I would assume it's euros if it's a European league.
I wrote this weird symbol. It's not dollars. It's not American dollars.
Probably euros.
It's probably euros. The two teams that lose in the semifinals get 50,000
Euros?
And then the ones that lose in the quarterfinals get 25,000
dollars.
Dollars. They get $25,000.
We know that one.
Okay. Which ends up being more than 50,000 euros, so it's weird.
Yeah. Good for them.
Conversion rates. So there's some money involved, some money.
What happens generally? Like, do you split that among players, or does that go to the club?
I don't know. Probably both.
Okay.
Cool.
I don't know, though.
Any thoughts, like, watching this tournament that stuck out? I mean, the field seemed really green in the game I watched.
Yeah, remember I had to turn my brightness down on my TV to -30.
Too bright. Yeah, Mary Beth. Yeah.
I don't wear my sunglasses to watch this soccer game.
Yeah, you were like, it's so bright. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
You were watching a different one.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Oh, yeah, you were watching.
But I did switch to the other one just to see, and I didn't notice anything.
My TV.
But one thing I did notice,
generally pretty bright.
Yeah, one thing I did notice, not about like the style of play or anything, was the like commentator. It's a very like British, which I really liked, because he would be like, "Oh, that was just dreadful," or like, "That was horrible."
And the keeper dropped that ball. That's horrible for her.
That was just a horrible play. Which honestly, sometimes we need to hear that. Like,
the honesty.
We need that. Like, that was dreadful. Like he didn't hold back, and that was funny. Like, that was entertaining, and sometimes it was warranted.
Yeah,
sometimes it was.
So just like.
Play.
Them not really sugarcoating stuff, I really enjoyed.
American announcers being like,
"Oh,
I bet she really wanted to do better there."
Yeah. Oh, I've seen her do better in the past.
Yeah, or like that didn't really work out the way she wanted it to work out.
Don't put it on her. Maybe she meant to do that.
It's okay to just be like, "Ooh, she fucked up there," you know?
Yeah,
she meant to score on her own goal.
A terrible ball. A terrible ball.
Yeah.
No, totally. I like to hear a British announcer. I really did kind of like Well, I don't know what I don't know what I was gonna say there, but the game I watched was Lyon versus Paris, and both of them seemed mean.
Like physical or just like
they
Mean.
play hard?
Yeah,
or they
I think
mean
honestly,
people?
like physical, just like unnecessary fouls and like I don't
Those Mean
know.
Girls.
Yeah, the Lyon and was it PSG? Where like two of the players got red cards?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, that was them. Yeah. Yeah, and that especially that red card for the PSG player. I can't remember her name, but it was such an unnecessary like a really stupid move. Like she was already on a yellow card and then she like just like obviously like wasn't even going for the ball, just like threw the other player to the ground.
Yeah. Yes, totally.
I didn't watch
And then
that
her
game,
team
but
is
I would have
down.
loved that.
Like you get thrown out of the game
Yeah, what
and
are
then
you
your
doing?
team yeah.
If someone
Especially
gets
if you
thrown
already
out, can they replace them, or are they then down
No.
a person?
They're then down a person.
And then I think they have to sit out the next game. Well,
Yeah,
I think
so-
the leagues are different. But is that true
No,
for this too?
it happened because Nikita Paris got thrown out or got, a red card from 2 yellows in that game, and she plays for Lyon, and she was on the bench in the final because
Whoops.
What a dumbass.
you sit out the next game. So, yeah. Not worth it.
Stoopy.
I bet she would have rather been out there, but
You stupid
yeah.
dummy.
So a lot of unnecessary. I think there's like I don't know anything about, but I would assume that they're 2 French teams. There's probably a lot of like a sense like a rivalry between the two. So
Mhm. Yeah,
but,
almost certainly.
Yeah.
Oh, I did watch Madrid. Was it Madrid versus Barcelona? Or was Barcelona versus someone? I watched some of that too.
I don't think was
It's
it
Barcelona and somebody else.
That was the
Bayern Munich? No, Arsenal.
I don't
It was
remember.
Arsenal. Yeah, maybe it was Arsenal.
Oh no, Madrid
No.
and Barcelona did play,
Oh, okay. It was that one then.
and Barcelona won.
Yep. But anyway, it's just good to see soccer again, and I would have to watch more of the international league. Which are they airing that more? For
I don't know. I'm not
Oh,
sure.
maybe
but
not. Maybe just this
I
tournament.
want with a lot of these like US players going overseas, I definitely want to like I think it's a good opportunity for me to like find a way to watch these games because I want to watch Rose Lavelle play. I want to watch Sam Mewis.
Mhm.
yeah,
Like Kristen Press and Tobin Heath would love to watch them play, especially
Are they
since-
for sure going?
I don't know about for sure, but last
Just
I
to
heard
say.
there was talks between them and Manchester United.
Yeah.
And I'd also like to learn like what's the difference between Manchester United and Manchester City? Are they both in Manchester?
sucks.
I think they're probably.
Oh.
Julia knows.
Julia's strong.
No, I only
feeling.
know. No, okay. So you want to know what's interesting though? I think like a lot of these leagues, especially the men's side, are like run by like very rich oil people
Ew.
in like Saudi Arabia, and they're all like very just like corrupt, awful like people with a lot of power, and they just have these like European soccer leagues, football leagues that people like love and put money into so that it sort of like clears their name. Not so much clears their name, but like they have this, team associated with them.
Yeah.
And Man
Ooh.
U is one of the worst, I think, just like tons of money in their club, and like just like one of the most corrupt humans in the world, I think.
Oh my
Yikes.
gosh. I gotta do some research.
Speaking
I'll send you
of,
guys links.
yeah, send the links out. And speaking of corrupt teaming, should we talk about Dell Loy Hansen?
Oh
Thank
my
you.
gosh.
Yes.
Yes.
Because I was gonna say I miss our sweet little Salt Lake City field, and then it made me think of Dell Loy Hansen.
Well, he's selling.
Oh, is he?
I saw that.
So
Yeah,
Dell
they posted that he's in the process of like
he's pursuing
pursuing a sale.
So
I'll buy.
for the people that don't know, the Utah Royals, as well as like Real Monarchs and I don't know, some other team, are owned by this man, Dell Loy Hansen. Yes. Dell, like the computer. Loy, like Roy, but with an L. Hansen, like Dear Evan.
And I'm pretty sure Loy is the name of not Noah in The Notebook. Wasn't that his name?
We've established I've never watched The Notebook.
Oh.
Nobody was someone named Loy
Have we
in The
established
Notebook?
this?
I swear it's the person she's going to marry.
Lon.
Wait, I should
That's Lon.
Oh my god. Okay, keep going. His name is Dell Loy Hansen.
So you know he's going to be problematic from the start.
Mm-hmm. So he made some comments on a radio show on a radio station that he owns about how, like, he was mad that players refused to play in a game in protest of like police brutality against Black people. And he said something like, I don't know exactly what he said, but it was just like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Like, took personal offense to it. He turned it around.
Yeah, he's
to
like,
be
it
about
took the
himself.
winds out of my sails, or
like,
something.
I don't want
In
to
terms of
invest in
putting
this
money into
team and like put money in this team. It feels like they stabbed me in the back when like they're like not playing.
Like, dude,
for
this
social
has nothing to
justice
do with
reasons.
you.
Yeah.
Right.
No one even thought about you for 1 second in any of this decision, and that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then after that, I think it really gave people license to be like, actually, this is not unexpected coming from him. He has said a lot of racially offensive things like the N-word and like just like general comments throughout the years, like, that are bad. And there was a whole article on The Athletic about it, which I would recommend reading with your subscription.
Yes.
Friends, get subscribed. Yeah, and it was just like, oh, shit. And so then, yeah, people were calling for the NWSL to investigate because obviously he owns a team in the NWSL. And apparently there's like a mechanism within the NWSL for them to take away ownership rights for teams. So, but he ended up saying he's going to sell the whole kit and caboodle, all three teams, and yeah.
So good.
I guess we'll see what
is
happens
that good
there.
Then?
Yeah,
or is it okay?
Yeah, it's good because I think it it's good in the sense that right.
Sure.
It's good in the sense that like those players now no longer have to like be associated with that man and that kind of thing, but also it like gives him the opportunity to kind of like come out smelling a little bit sweeter because he's selling it, not like having it taken away. But I guess exactly. In the end result is that he's not going to be associated with it. So it's a win, but yeah.
I hope that like a group similar to like the makeup of Angel City, where it's like it's investors, but it's also people that are involved in the sport. And like, no, I hope like a group like that buys it.
Totally.
Yeah.
That seems
I do too, for sure.
Yeah.
But then like, so there are some Black NWSL players have been like in the process of creating like a Black Players Coalition within the Players Association, and they released a pretty strong statement, the Black players of the NWSL, that was basically like, this is not acceptable. We stand for Black Lives Matter, blah blah blah, and we support like the players in Utah who like want like him gone,
Mm-hmm.
So they had a pretty strong statement, and a lot of the NWSL teams like are like, we stand with these players, blah blah blah. So we'll see what happens. I think for me, like watching the Challenge Cup and then watching the WNBA, the NWSL to me has a lot of work to do in terms of like standing for something and fighting for things and like doing more than just like taking a knee,
Right.
Yep.
So I think like just watching the WNBA for me, it's like, shit, like they're just so much further ahead in terms of like activism and, standing for something. So, I mean, they've been around longer, and their league is 80% Black. So I think that's like a huge reason why.
Yeah,
and I think it's really indicative, especially like just watching like what happened a couple nights ago when the teams that were supposed to play decided they weren't going to.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
And like just reading stuff about it, like some of like the players were saying like, you know, there were some players that initially like weren't on board, but once the Black players were like, we're not playing and we need you to like be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Their teammates were like, yeah, like if that's what you want, we support you. And I think that's a really stark contrast to like what we saw in the NWSL, where Black players are like, we want you to kneel with us, and white players are like, I'm gonna stand, you know?
Right. Like not everyone. Yeah. Totally. I think it definitely, we've discussed before how soccer is like a very white sport. It's an expensive sport to get into, so it tends to be like not rich, but like well-off people entering.
Yeah, there are financial barriers.
So I think that that's part of it, is a lot of people in the league have a privilege of not being affected by these issues, and so they don't know yet what they should be standing for. But.
Exactly. One of the things I kind of reflected on after our last, I think it was our last episode or one of them, that like, you know, I was just like so impressed with how the WNBA is like leading the charge, and, you know, they're so great and such an example. And like, you know, good on them for like taking a stand on these issues when it's really like they don't have a choice. They're fighting for their lives, essentially. This is the experience of Black people everywhere, no matter what their job is. And we're very fortunate to have them have this platform where they can do this, but it's not like they are, you know, like, yeah, thank God I get to, you know, fight two, like, battles, both, like, you know, the sport and for my life every single day.
Right.
Yeah, it's just wild.
After they, like, announced they weren't gonna play those games, I, like, saw, like, stuff on Twitter, like, you know, people being, like, so proud of these women, this league, and somebody, and it was not someone I follow, so I don't even know their name, so sorry, but they were, like, saying, like, we have failed these women. Like, we have, and we failed Black people, that they are being put in this position where they now have to do this. Like, so to be proud of them, it's just like a conflicting, like, feelings, because, like, we have put them in this position.
Right.
Totally.
To have to do this.
It's not something to celebrate, it's something to, like,
exactly.
We need to fucking change.
Yes, exactly. It's not something, exactly. And then Ariel Atkins, who plays for the Mystics, she had a really powerful message from the team, with the team standing behind her, where she said, you know, like, why they're not playing. And, you know, she said, like, once after we leave the court, we're still Black people. Like, you know, we still have to deal with this stuff. And, you know, one of her teammates' sons was standing there with them, and she was like, we're doing this for him, like, for his future.
Yeah.
And, it was just, like, really just so sad. I don't know. I was just like, it's just a lot.
Yeah, and there's also the aspect then of, like, them speaking out and doing this, and then, like, all these trash people that claim to be their fans that are like, what is this doing that you're not playing and we can't watch you? But, like, this isn't gonna, how is this gonna help? As though they're just saying, like, this is not a time for, like, a game right now. Let's take this night off and focus on what we can do, and, like, coming up with an action plan going forward, I guess. Like, let's all take a minute away from sports. This isn't a time to just, like, be entertained. It's a time to save the country.
Right. And also, like, it's these players saying, like, you can't be entertained by us and just, like, at the end of this game, shut your TV off and be done with us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're going to be entertained by us, you have to recognize our humanity and be confronted with this. And, you know, and the fact that they even have to do that is just, it's
sick
not fair.
and it's sad. Yeah.
It's like a sort of like, don't expect us to like put our bodies like through hell essentially to be at an elite athlete level, and then like we go home and you like shoot us. What the heck?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the idea behind why they're not playing, as I understand it, and seems that many people don't get that based on
people
Twitter.
Just need to recognize, that like, well, I don't know. You guys have said it already, but like there are more important things than sports, and these athletes care about these things. Why are we silencing the voices of these athletes? I mean, if I try to think about if like there was, a conservative athlete trying to use this platform to say what they had to say, and if would I feel the same way? But the point is that their lives are on the line, and for the 5 years of protesting, of like very simple messaging that Cap has been doing, athletics as a whole has not gotten behind him until this moment. And this should have been done a long time ago, but it does say a lot that these organizations are sort of banding together, and it's different than 5 years ago, but it's time to like really make a change and like fuck the people who don't understand it.
Yeah.
It's probably not the best way to
and
do
also
it.
Like, I just know like me personally, like it was a very hard couple of days after Jacob Blake was shot, and I'm a privileged white woman, and I can't imagine like being a Black person having to deal with that. It's like, I don't want to fucking play basketball.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
You know,
we're
I don't have it in me.
A pandemic, and then you shoot. You're shooting our people in a fucking pandemic.
Yeah.
This is. I'm sorry, but this is bigger than what
not a time to like
schedule is tonight.
Yeah.
And we're lucky that these are eloquent. Who cares if they're eloquent or not? But I was going to say that they're eloquent, like people who are able to like voice what they're standing up for. Because now what we have is like, the NBA has turned all these facilities into voting sites, and like it's a boycott as much as it is like let's take the night to do other things. It's like.
And even more so, it's like,
here's
it's a
our
strike.
action plan. Yes,
like,
yes.
They're withholding their labor. They're like, we're not going to work,
Yes. Exactly.
But they're turning it into action,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it very much was like, it was cool for it to be like, let's take a minute and everybody reflect on what's happening and let's figure out how we can help moving forward. And then we'll get back to playing when we're ready to play, essentially, which I think is
totally
admirable.
Yeah, for sure.
Totally. Yeah.
I was checking Twitter right before we started talking, and there was like a tweet that was like, it's, like our coaches support this as much as our players do. And it was like all the WNBA coaches in Black Lives Matter t-shirts, like arms linked, very like serious faces. And it was like cool to see like, okay, they're saying like, we support our players, and that's like really awesome. And then like Bill Lambier's in the back row with like a Black Lives Matter t-shirt, but he's the only one with like a slightly different Black Lives Matter t-shirt, and he's
Like
the
he
only one
lost
who's
his.
like, yeah, and he had to get a new like one, and he's the only one that's like slightly smiling. And then there's like a coach in the front. Is it Bill Kloppenberg? Is that his name, the Seattle coach?
I'm not sure.
But he's wearing like flip-flops. And so I don't know. I just thought it was kind of funny.
It is funny.
Like,
it is like they were like late for school that day.
Yeah.
They just ran in for the picture.
Yeah.
Guys, we're doing the shoot right now.
Yeah. Everyone come over here.
Oh, sorry. They're like in the background, they were just making fart noises or something.
Yeah. But I'm like, you couldn't have gone to the back flip-flop.
Totally.
You couldn't have gone to the back.
Hey, it's Florida.
That's true. That's
Flip-flop
true.
life.
Maybe I shouldn't be being so critical.
Yeah, flip-flops,
but
yeah.
Maybe you didn't bring enough socks to the wobble.
It's called a washing machine. It's called putting them in your sink. But I just like saw the photo and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I like opened the photo and I was like, of course. Like Bill Lambier and then Flip-Flop Man.
Oh, man.
As always, we will continue to, do our part and keep following the lead of the people who've been leading the movement and being like really important voices in the movement.
For sure.
And like just commend them for being able to like keep playing their sport amidst
all of the garbage in the world, I guess.
Yeah, the fire. But we do have good news. It was just announced that the NWSL is going to have some games in the fall.
Yeah.
They're going to do little pods, regional pods.
Regional. So there's like I think there's like a West Coast, an East Coast, and a South, right? So it's three teams.
I think they call it Northeast. It was like something weird like that.
I guess because technically some of it is Southeast, but
it was weird.
Yeah, I think we discussed the possibility of this, I think, before, but now it's happening. So it'll be 3 teams per pod, and I think they each play 4 games. Or they play against maybe it's 6 games. They somehow each pod plays 6 games, I think. So each team plays the other teams in their pod twice.
Yeah.
Is what I think is the situation.
Who are in the pods? It's like Seattle, Portland, Utah in one pod.
And then Chicago, Sky Blue, Washington. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Orlando, North Carolina, and Houston.
Gotcha.
Which makes sense.
Yeah,
but I think they're traveling, so it's not like a bubble situation.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's like they travel there and then come right home, and it's like all like chartered planes. So
is that what it is?
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know.
I don't know how I feel about sports coming in a non-bubble situation.
That's how the MLB does it, but they also have people diagnosed
a lot of
with
issues.
COVID a lot.
Yeah.
But also, depending on what state they're in and if their teams agree, they're allowed to have fans.
Yeah, that's a big no for me.
But I think the fans aren't allowed to be like closer than the 8th row or something. I don't know I read that on Twitter. I don't know the exact
I hope they're
stipulations.
also not allowed to be like 1 fan per fucking section.
Yeah. Like 1 on each side. There's 4 fans.
Yeah, there's 4 fans.
North fan,
really
West fan, East fan, and South fan.
Oh my God.
They do the wave.
Yeah.
It takes so long for the next person.
I'm very curious to see how this goes because for me, one of the like huge successes of the Challenge Cup was that in the end, nobody got sick.
Yeah. They did a good job of it. Right.
So I don't know how I feel about this. I just feel like anything that puts the players at risk, it's like, is it worth playing 2 games, 3 games, 4 games? You know?
Right.
I don't know. I mean, of course I'm going to watch because...
Yeah.
Does it just cost way more then to do a bubble situation, or is it just more?
Probably, because you've got, and then like people can't be with their families, and
I think you don't have that player buy-in, because they already did it, and they're like, I just can't do that again.
That was a lot for me, and I'm not doing it again.
Totally.
Plus, like the accommodations in the Challenge Cup bubble were very different from like the Wubble.
Someone take me to the Wubble for permanent.
Bradenton.
Honestly,
they show these like Bradenton commercials, and I'm like, should I go?
I know. I was like, should I like vacation at IMG Academy?
How do I work? How do I get there to be? How do I get a job with League Pass so that I can go?
Yeah.
Get me there. I want to hang out with Holly Rowe.
I would
because
I
the
want to
players
learn
in the
TikTok
wobble
dances with Holly Rowe.
Yeah. The players in the wobble can like hang out with, not that they have all the time in the world to do this, but they can hang out with players from other teams.
Yeah, they're allowed to like see
and
each
some
other.
of their family is with them possibly if they, you know.
Yeah. And there's also like you see them going to the beach together or like in the pool or golfing or like fishing. Like there's activities for them to do.
In
they
the
all
lunch
have, like little
line.
bikes and they run into each other in the lunch line. So it seems like a little bit more livable than
definitely not ideal at all.
Right.
But definitely more livable for sure.
I agree, but maybe ideal for me. Like I mean that's not good for everybody. Maybe that's the life I would like to live.
I'm already not seeing my family.
I know, you might as well put me in a bubble with Holly Rowe.
Like give me somewhere where I can like go to the pool.
I know.
Well, the NBA bubble sounds like obviously the best. It's at Disney, so they're like in resorts and stuff.
It seems wild.
Oh, okay. There was a really good WNBA game, Julia, if you have time to watch it on League Pass.
Tell me.
It was Chicago versus New York, and something about Chicago. Did you watch where New York beat them?
Yeah.
Okay, you watched it?
Julia did watch that game.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That was a good game.
That was a good game. I made celery soup during it, and I'm going to get some shit for it. I'm going to get some shit for it.
There's something about the Chicago Sky that's really fun for me to watch because they're so inconsistent. Like,
I love that.
Yeah. I know. That's really fun.
That's what I want.
You never know what's going to happen.
That's how I feel. Sorry to throw the Iowa Hawkeyes under the bus, but that's why I love their football team. Like I went there.
You never know.
You never knew what was going to happen. And in the end, like you still just went and had fun and like ate a grilled cheese at the end of the night.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's like my Michigan experience. And they break your heart. Well, actually, it's not, they're not inconsistent. They just consistently break your heart. So maybe I don't like that.
Oh man.
But Amanda Zawi B had that interview at the end of the game and she just was like, finally a win. It was sort of like, we know we can do this.
Right.
But we haven't been, just things haven't come together. So it seemed like that was a night where things really came together. They were shooting well. It was like, it was a very
they got like 101 points, didn't they?
Yeah.
Nice.
And, okay, Chicago consistently puts themselves in a situation where they're like up by like 15 early on and they cannot hold on to a lead. And then they're winning like in the last play of the game. And it's like, why do you do that to yourself?
Yeah, because I think it was 101-99. I didn't watch that game, but I do know
but it was fun.
That
but
really
I'm
was
really excited for New York, like in the future, because I think they've got a lot of good things, but they're just obviously like they have a lot of rookies, and not that they're bad, they just don't have the same experience, you know?
Yeah, I think that like with that, like in a couple of years when they're not all rookies anymore and when everyone's healthy, it'll be like a bit of a turnaround. Which will be, because then there are other teams that there aren't a lot of rookies and then they'll be the ones that there'll be turnover. So.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. They're rebuilding.
Not have to include that. I just wanted to talk about that with you.
Oh
guys,
no,
so.
that was that was a very fun game. Memories. Oh, and finally watching Diana Taurasi. Oh, that could have been our out. Damn it! But watching Diana Taurasi.
Wait, what are you watching? Diana Taurasi?
No, just there was one game that I was like, Mercury was playing somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And she just was like, oh, okay.
I think it's the game where she wore the Kobe Bryant jersey.
Yep. Yes, it was. And she had a great game. It was against the Mystics. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Mystics.
Yeah. I feel like when Diana Taurasi decides that Phoenix is going to win, they win.
That's
you know what
so
I mean?
Cool.
Like,
yeah.
I feel like she just like, just makes a decision that she's going to be next level tonight, and it happens, you know?
Which is very much like a mental thing. Like, you get in the zone,
right,
like, for whatever, like, you're feeling.
Yep.
Like,
which reminds me of Michael Jordan. We have one episode left on The Last Dance where it's just sort of like, if he has one thing that is like ticking him off, he'll put it into the game and he will make sure that they win. Also, we saw the episode where they go, way to go, Chuck. Way to go, Craig.
Oh my God.
And I was going to text you, but I didn't. But I was like, I'll tell her.
There's like a press conference in like one of the episodes, and what is he? Oh, one of the reporters asked the question to like the general manager of the Bulls, who like is like a villain in this story, and he gets like pissed, and he's like, I'm not gonna answer that or something, and leaves and ends the press conference. And then one of the journalists goes, way to go, Craig, to the other
you can hear it, and they have like audio, like subtitles for it. Yes, Jerry Krause, and he basically goes, what do you think, I'm stupid? I'm not stupid. Like that question that you just asked. I'm done. And walks out. It's something to
it's like straight out of Degrassi. I love that.
Yeah, no, truly.
And then just the fact that they're like, way to go, Craig.
Yeah,
like,
way to go,
that was
Craig.
not his fault. He was doing a journalist job.
I know. They have to ask questions. Jerk House is
they have to ask the hard question. Yeah.
Anyway.
I have to tell you guys, because I haven't discussed Hey Arnold in this episode yet.
Oh, please bring it up.
Okay.
I was watching it last night, and it was an episode where, so I don't know how familiar you guys are. I may be the only person to watch Hey Arnold in the past 20 years.
No. I watched it like,
you watch
don't
it a
you
lot?
Remember? Yeah.
Katie not a lot, but I was like recovering from like illness or near-death experience, and I watched a bunch of episodes.
It's currently my one of my favorite shows. I watch it all the time at like 1 a.m. But it was an episode where Helga is mean to Patty. Do you know who Patty is? She looks just like Harold, but she's a girl.
Yeah.
And
Fat Patty. Don't they call her like Fat Patty or something?
Yeah, they're really mean to Patty.
Yeah, it's really mean.
But this is like where this is going. So Helga was like being mean to Patty, and Patty's like, I'm gonna like beat the shit out of you, only in a cartoon way. And so everyone knows that Helga's gonna get beat up. And she's walking home with Arnold, and Arnold's like, what did you say to her? And he goes, I just called her big and dumb and ugly. And Arnold goes, even if she is, she probably doesn't want to hear that from I was like, Arnold.
Oh my God, that's your hero of the show. Your hero of the show.
Oh my God. Okay, but can I just say, like, Arnold is such a buzzkill sometimes.
Really?
Like, he's like obviously like the moral center of the show, so like he's always the one like telling the other characters they're doing stupid shit, like that they're doing stupid shit. But it's like, Arnold, we're in 4th grade. Can you just like
let us fucking live?
Can I be a child, please?
Like, I know you're an orphan, but can you just stop?
He's not even. Did you know?
What? Yeah, his parents are alive in like this desert.
His parents are alive,
jungle.
like they recently made a movie, and he like meets them. He finds them.
They made a movie?
I didn't watch the movie. I don't remember why he runs into his parents.
I also
in, like,
wasn't sure if you were saying that the parents made a movie and then he meets them.
The parents made a movie.
The parents made a movie.
He's like, wait, that's my last name.
That's
I should go to the premiere.
Okay, one other thing about Hey Arnold. You know the episode where Stinky becomes like a country music star? I'm sorry. Mr. Wynn becomes a country music star. I was thinking about the episode where Stinky becomes like a Yahoo spokesperson. But Mr. Wynn, he's like the man who lives in Arnold's grandparents' boarding house, and who has like a very stereotypical like Asian accent. But when he sings, he
sounds
just
like a country western.
Yes, he just has like the like with with a Southern accent.
He's Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
Oh my
it's
God,
just
that's
something
so
that
funny.
my brother and I talk about all the time.
Man.
I'm going to send you a video of Mr. Wynn singing.
That does seem
Please.
familiar. I do wonder if I've
French
seen
fried onion rings, something like that. It's like,
it.
That'll
As
be
an
our
adult-
music for the
oh, it's in one of my
Fried
recent
onion rings.
videos that I watched on YouTube.
As an adult,
simple
I'm very much Team Helga.
Oh,
Which is interesting.
100%. And Olga's such a fucking annoying baby sister.
Her whole family is terrible. That's why I'm very much
Her
Team Helga.
parents are abusive. Her mom's an
Yeah.
alcoholic.
Yeah.
Oh,
And her
God.
dad is abusive.
Where does
gross.
she live? Do we know like where these are?
We don't.
They're in
We don't know.
New York City.
No.
Yeah, I always imagined Harlem. Oh no,
They live by like PS because they have the PS.
It is
school system.
PS, but so the last time I watched this, I was very like curious.
Uh-huh.
And there's like it's like it's not a real place basically because they go to like they drive to some okay, cut this all out, but
Leave it in. I love that it's about
but
Hey
it's
Arnold.
like
Yeah.
but it's like they drive like to New York or like
oh no,
drive somewhere that hold on, okay, let me see.
Oh, so they live in like a fictional city, basically, like a Gotham
fictional-
City situation.
Oh.
Yeah. Contrary to popular belief, the city is not or does not represent New York City.
What?
The creator has officially stated that the city the show takes place in is somewhere in the Pacific Northwest and is an amalgamation of Seattle, Brooklyn, and Portland.
Wild. Well, I'm fine with it.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like a fun city. Probably
You're
gentrified, but
It's
On that
actually
note-
very diverse.
yeah, no, the show is yeah. But that city, come on, guys.
You're right. I love that this podcast is like A plot
Mostly Hey
sports,
Arnold.
B plot Hey Arnold in the Notebook.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna have to catch up on Hey Arnold and Katie is gonna.
Katie's got to watch the
Notebook
Notebook. You
episode.
got to find out why Allie chooses Noah and not Loy.
Isn't it because like he writes her letters or something? I know that.
No, it's because they're in love.
Oh,
Ah,
and he writes her letters. Does he
spoiler.
write her letters? Oh, whatever.
Well, maybe, but we
He
can't
does-
tell
he
you.
Ugh, fine.
You're just going to have to watch it because if you're a bird, I'm a bird. We
Yeah.
did talk about this because I know we had this
100%
discussion.
talked about it. Yeah.
And now I just feel like I have to never see it just so that I can be like, yeah, I've
No.
never seen it.
Yeah.
To see it.
This was the conversation for sure. Okay, that's it from us.
Deja
Thank
vu.
you so much for listening or watching if you did. We love you very much. And we don't know you though, but maybe we do.
No.
But also, that's it. She's good out.
Thanks.
Goodbye. Stay cool.
Stay cool. Hey everyone, it's Julia. Stay cool.
Na, 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 na,
Thanks.
na.
Have a great
Na, na,
summer.
na, na.